I thought I'd jump on and share something that came up in my study club today with my clients. And I just thought this would be fantastic to share because it's so important and also misunderstood, I believe. So we were talking about responsibility. And I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on responsibility? What is your take on responsibility? Like, do you think responsibility stops with you? Like, do you take responsibility for everything in your life that's happening to you, that you're experiencing, good or bad? Or do you think other people around you, especially when it's something negative, something bad that's happened, should take the blame if something goes wrong, if something doesn't work out, irrespective of who you think should be blamed, so on and so forth? Because really, I believe, and I never before, over the last few years, I have believed that the buck stops with me. Yeah. We don't take responsibility and we focus the blame on others. And when we're doing that, we're giving our capacity to heal, we're giving our capacity to shine and rise above anything, we're giving that away. Basically, we're giving our power away when we do not take responsibility. My personal ultimate purpose for being here is to improve the quality of your life by you becoming a much confident, a much content, and a much happier person. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, so that you can enjoy your life the way that you want to, just how I'm enjoying my life the way I want to, once I got exposed to everything that I'm teaching and learning and experiencing and applying in my life and in my business. Now, I'm not here to give you false hope, or I'm not here to sugarcoat promises, because there is work involved when you're going after something and you're striving for something, and of course you're creating the life and lifestyle that you want. But I am here to cement the cracks, I guess, that life itself has knocked into your foundations. Okay. So, like, when it comes to responsibility, this is what I wanted to share with you. So I was reading this article, and I'm going to need my glasses for this. And this article is actually in a workbook that I study with my clients, and they will have access and their own copies of this workbook through a program that I mentor them through. And this is actually in the back of one of the lessons that we were studying. And I just thought this would be amazing to share. And I think people need to hear this. It says, responsibility is a choice, and it truly is the key to freedom. Your future can be everything you have ever dreamt about. You have the talent and tools to experience one beautiful day after another. And that is actually a fact. And that is, in fact, what the architect of the universe had in mind for you when you were created. If that was not so, you would have never been endowed with such awesome powers. You've probably all heard, so many people say you've got the power within you and the power is within us. And, well, do you know what? It is. That power is within you. And this is where responsibility comes in. In this article, it was by one of my mentor, Bob Proctor, his good friend and mentor, Leland Vanderwall, who wrote, when a person takes responsibility for their life and the results they are obtaining, they will cease to blame others as the cause of their results. Since you cannot change other people, blame is inappropriate. Now, blaming others causes a person to remain bound in the prison of their own thinking. But when you take responsibility, blame is eliminated and you are free to grow. Yeah. Let me read that again. When you take responsibility, blame is eliminated and you are free to grow. So it would be a fair comment to say that the people who have the greatest respect for are those who have accepted responsibility for every aspect of their lives. Now, this is where I have accepted the responsibility now. I didn't for many years. Things that were going on in my life, in my personal life, and situations that I was dealing with, and circumstances, I was always blaming other people. It was never my fault. It was always somebody else's fault, right? Because again, we're brought up that way, right? We don't, we either blame the environment, we blame society, we blame government, we blame whatever it is. We're always blaming somebody. It's always somebody else's fault. It's never our own. But when I understood this and got into this material, I have realized that actually the buck stops with me. It's my responsibility. I've got a choice. I can either blame people or I can accept it, and I can use my own powers within and change the situation. If I don't like a situation, I've got the power to change it, because in my own power, I created it. Now, that might be a little bit deep for people to understand if you're not really exposed to this type of material, but I just want you to have an open mind. So it says here, when this happens, they merely learn their lesson and they keep reaching out above and beyond to the new frontier, taking responsibility for whatever happens every step of the way. When a person refuses to accept responsibility for their life, they reject their uniqueness and they turn all of their power over to other people. Interesting, isn't it? So when you're not taking responsibility, you're actually handing over your power to somebody else, whether it's situations, circumstances, or people. They are then no longer in control of their future. Now, I know I want to be in control of my future, and I know I am. I don't want to give that power away to anybody, right? So they will be hoping something good will happen, but because of past experiences, they will very likely be expecting something they do not want to happen. When you accept responsibility for your life and for the results which you alone determine, you will develop confidence that your dreams can be realized, that your plans can be carried out. Now, I have even worked with myself to overcome the personal demons that kept me broke, that kept me unfulfilled, that overworked me for decades of a lifetime, right? So I have a fair idea of what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about this information because I've used it on myself, right? And I believe you can overcome and achieve anything that you choose to focus on. You and I, me too as well, we simply need to be reminded that there's really no such thing as negative energy. I really don't believe there's anything such as negative energy. Energy just is, okay? Energy comes to and through you, and it's pure, unadulterated spirit, all right? And I'll come to that in a short while. But the other bit that I really wanted to talk to you about in this article is, it's so good. There's just so much to read, but I can't go through the whole article. I've tried to pick the best bits out for you. But it says here, for some, these last few paragraphs, and this is important, may be life-altering. With the proper understanding, it has the power to free you of unnecessary mental weight that you may have been carrying around with you all your life, guaranteed. And it says this concept has been misunderstood by so many and has probably single-handedly ruined more lives than one can possibly imagine. So just listen up here, because this, I think, is the most important part of this article. It says, ignorance of this principle will most certainly cause a person to experience the destructive emotions of anger, guilt, and resentment. Here it is. There is a vast difference between being responsible for and being responsible to. Are you ready to hear it? Okay, here we go. It seems so simple, but don't let its apparent simplicity fool you. There is a big difference between being responsible for and being responsible to. Now, I never knew that. Before I got involved in this information many years ago, I thought I was responsible for people around me. I thought I was responsible for my family, right? I thought I was responsible for my partner. No. The correct interpretation of this is You are responsible for your feelings and your results, not another person's. When I read that the first time, I was like, wow. Going back to this article, the exception, of course, is when you choose to take on the responsibility of raising children. Of course, when you're a parent or if you're a guardian for a young child, until they reach the age of maturity, then you are responsible to and for that child. That goes without saying, right? But when they become of age, they are responsible for themselves. Yeah. So at times it might even be appealing to contemplate having another person take on our responsibilities. We could even trick ourselves into believing that by doing this, we would be more free to play, have fun, and do the things we wanted. Without serious thought, it might never enter your mind that exactly the opposite would happen. When you permit others to take on your responsibilities, you become dependent on them. That is so, so powerful. They become the giver and you become the receiver. And when that happens, it's not a good place to be in, because your well-being is then dependent upon their generosity. Hopefully, at some point, it will become very clear that this kind of behavior only leads to a life of lack, a life of limitation, a life of resentment and confusion on the parts of both parties, both the giver and the receiver. Nothing positive comes from the misuse of responsibility. When you take on the responsibility for another person's feelings, for another person's results, for another person's actions, you destroy their self-reliance and self-respect. Can you see how powerful this article is? And that's why I really wanted to share it with you. And the final bit it says here is you are responsible for all of your results in your life. You are responsible for your health. You're responsible for your wealth. You're responsible for your happiness. You are responsible for emotional state, your emotional state. Yeah. A lot of times we will say, oh, so-and-so made me feel like that. He really made me feel like this. They did this to me, and so that's why I did this. That's when you're giving your power away. You're giving your responsibility away. You are responsible. Regardless of what has happened in the past, the future lies ahead with an open slate, waiting for you to take control of your life and create a wonderful life for yourself. There's a quote here in this article by Winston Churchill as well, and I think he knew quite a bit about responsibility. He was one of the prime ministers of the UK. It says, responsibility is the price of greatness. And I want to leave you with an affirmation that you can actually say night or day. When you go to sleep every night, say it before you go to bed. And when you wake up, say it before you wake up. I am responsible for my life. I am responsible for my feelings. I am responsible for my personal growth. I am responsible for every result I get. Okay. I'm going to pop that affirmation in the video above so that you can write that down. But say that every day and say it for about 21 days. Start off, say it to yourself morning and night when you wake up. State with conviction, and then give it about 21 days, and you will see things in your life start to develop the way that you want. You will start to take responsibility as well of your life, of your results, of your future, of your circumstances, everything, and you will start to see the results shift in your life. Now, going back to energy, I was talking about it. It's pure, unadulterated spirit. So it comes to and through you. Okay, energy comes to and through us, and it becomes your energy. So it's up to you how you mold that energy. There's no positive or negative energy. Energy just is. And you mold that energy through your thoughts, right? Whether that's a positive thought or a negative thought, you're molding it through your thoughts. So my question to you is, what kind of energy will you choose to surround yourself with? What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? And if you want to join my study club, we start on Monday, this coming Monday, then click the link and get access. It's a 2-week access to my study club, where you've got access to hang out with me, to study with me and other high achievers. And you will see what it is that we do. And in those 2 weeks, you will see a shift in yourself. Okay, you'll be hanging out with people who are making it happen, and you can actually be one of those people who are making it happen for you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Bye.